All right, a lot to talk about here on this Friday edition of the Carolina Weather Video here for March the 10th. First of all, even this morning, thunderstorms rolling through parts of the region. Now, there's a look at a Greensboro tower camera, which I'm cutting this video about 5:35 this morning, and rain is creeping into the Triad from the west. Now, down in Charlotte, thunderstorms have been rumbling around. That was a look at the Dowd YMCA camera early this morning, where the temperature at that point in time was 52, and a lot of thunder and lightning anywhere from parts of the Charlotte metro and then especially down through South Carolina, Georgia, even overnight severe weather down that way, down in Alabama. Ahead of this cold front that's causing this activity this morning, you have warm air, and that was 70s for highs yesterday. Triad viewing area entirely in the low to mid 70s. The Charlotte viewing area mid 70s in most spots. But big changes begin today. Still mild for the time being, but much colder air now resides in the upper plain states, in the Midwest, up into Canada, and we have a lot of cold air heading our way. In fact, I think probably every single high temperature now tomorrow through the end of next work week will be below average. We have not had an extended period of below average temperatures like this in a long time, but that's what's on the way. Now, there's the radar over the past couple of hours. Notice that blue outlined area around Montgomery, Alabama. That is an active severe thunderstorm warning as I cut the video. A lot of lightning and thunder with this activity. It's been rumbling again from the Charlotte metro down into South Carolina. It's just some rain generally further north of that. And this shower chance, say for instance, for the Interstate 85 corridor, this will be gone by mid-morning as this cold front punches through. And this is a quick-moving cold front. Sunshine quickly builds in behind it. And as a for instance, look at the northwest winds kicking into gear in the Triad. That'll be the case all across the region. Very gusty northwesterly winds here as we go through the day. And that'll be bringing in colder air. So this high temperature map a little bit deceptive. These highs occurring in most spots during the first half of the day before lunchtime. Then we have falling temperatures through the afternoon. We wind up like that for low temperatures on Saturday morning. Now, I haven't changed my thinking with how Saturday unfolds. We should stay precipitation free. Clouds build in, yes, but I think the precipitation holds off to the west of us through the day and probably even Saturday evening too. It will be chillier tomorrow, though. Look at these highs tomorrow. Definitely a cool weather setup for Saturday. But then as we get into Saturday night, that's when the wave of precipitation moves through. Now, I mentioned in yesterday's video that the European model was lighter with the precipitation amounts, and I kind of had a hunch that we see the modeling trend in that direction, and that's been the case. So we've seen a decrease in the amounts of precipitation Saturday night into Sunday morning. But pretty much everything that falls, or at least the vast majority of anything that falls from the North and South Carolina border northward, should be in the form of snow. But it's not going to be a huge deal with this first wave. Now, there is a second wave of precipitation that really has my interest as well later Monday. More on that in just a second. But let's talk about Saturday night into Sunday. There's the North American, the NAM model representation of this. And here's the snow totals from the RPM modeling Futurecast. That's probably not too bad, although I do think there's going to be more than what you see here in the mountains. Something similar to this. This is the European snow totals. So higher totals in the mountains as you get an initial finger of precipitation, which I'll show you here in just a moment. Now, totals really decrease significantly as the precipitation amounts decrease when you head further to the east. Now, next week, this is Monday, another big low pressure takes shape and then lifts up the coast. And this is one of those deals where we're going to be evaluating the track of this low pressure, how much phasing is occurring, how much cold air is in place specifically to the northwest of this track. And that's going to have the chance to bring some more winter precip. Now, again, this is the wave of precipitation Saturday night into Sunday on the European that you see this produce this snow. And then watch this. We add to that in the northwest parts of North Carolina Monday and Monday night into Tuesday. So again, let me show you some of the more detailed modeling here. Now, let's start off with the loft. There's the disturbance driving the cold front through here this morning. Here comes the next piece of energy, Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then watch this. This is Monday evening. Let me go back here. All right. Notice these separate pieces of energy. 1, 2, 3. All right. And you kind of start to see that phase together Monday evening, and then boom, this thing goes up the coast Tuesday and turns into a major winter storm for the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. The question is how much winter precip occurs in the Carolinas. All right, let me show you the Canadian. All right, this is, again, very, very light. Oh, let me go back here. This is a very, very light amount of snow in most spots east of the mountains Saturday night into Sunday. And then we watch for this next low pressure to form. There it is. Monday afternoon, Monday night, you see the snow on the northwest flank. And by the way, the Canadian with yesterday's run went nuts with the snow totals. I think I threw that chart in here in just a second. And then up the coast it goes. So this is the latest Canadian snow totals. This is combining Saturday night into Sunday and then with what happens Monday into Tuesday. Again, the previous run, look at that. It went nuts because you had the storm phase just right to make a major winter storm north and west of Interstate 85. Again, the latest run is a little bit slower with the phasing, and so you get the major winter storm a little bit off to the northeast. I know this is a lot to talk about. Stick with me. I'll kind of break it down day by day in just a second. If you're talking about that Monday system too, there's the UK Met in agreement with that coastal low. But let's talk about Saturday night into Sunday one more time here. This is the higher resolution North American model. This is valid daybreak Sunday. And then as you get into late morning Sunday, there goes the precipitation. So there's the NAM model snow totals. It's probably not a bad representation overall, although this is, as often is, probably the upper limit of the snow potential. You can probably cut some of these numbers in half. All right, GFS. This was the 0Z run. Cold front today. We're quiet today. We're still rain-free through the daylight hours tomorrow, or precipitation-free, I should say. All right, here we go into tomorrow evening. There's your area of snow working in. There's daybreak Sunday, and then there we go into Sunday afternoon. So on the 0Z run of the GFS, you wound up with snow totals that look like that. Close-up view there, the Western Carolinas. Again, this is the 0Z run of the GFS, and that's just the Saturday night into Sunday event. That does not count anything that happens thereafter. European, courtesy of Weatherbell. Again, there's your initial finger of snow Sunday morning, and that's where you could see, if you get that first initial finger of snow to extend out, that's where you could pick up a couple quick inches overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. Oh, let me go back to there. There we go. And then the system kind of weakens from there. So, okay, there's the snow totals from the European model. And that, if you get that initial wave of precipitation, that's probably fairly accurate. Heavier totals in the mountains could be 4 or 5 inches up that way. East of the mountains, maybe a dusting to an inch or so in the Triad, more in the northern foothills. And we'll see how far south the snow can extend towards Charlotte. Now, after that, all right, there's just a snapshot of the European for later Monday. Low pressure offshore, northwestern North Carolina getting into the wintry precip. All right, so let me go back to the GFS. The 6Z run is in, and it's very similar to the previous run, so let me show you. All right, that's the 6Z run precipitation. This is the Saturday night into Sunday snow totals. So that's the first wave of precip. You compare that right, where did I put that? Right here. All right, so there's the 0Z run, there's the 6Z run, not a ton of difference. And then you get the next coastal low develop, so you add some to that into northwestern sections of North Carolina. So there you go. I know I threw a lot of graphics at you. The bottom line is I think some light snow Saturday night into Sunday morning could be enough to accumulate, certainly accumulate in the mountains, and then you get east of the mountains and the Piedmont, a dusting to an inch, maybe 2 in some spots. Not a major disruptive event, just not enough precipitation to be major and disruptive. Thereafter, we see what happens with this coastal low and how that behaves for Monday into Monday night and Tuesday. That one still has my interest peaked, and we'll see how that unfolds in future model runs. All right, that is it for the latest edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Have a great weekend. Stay warm, and God bless.